Good morning, good afternoon, good whatever from paradise. I'm Crypto Amaru here with Crypto Hitman. We are back after a bit of a hiatus. It's summertime. We took a little bit of time off, as I encourage everyone to do, but we are back better than ever. We're going to talk about general market conditions, what's been going on, what we can expect in the near and medium and long term. We got some news around a CTO that we've taken over, Ken on ETH. We had a call earlier on a project called Mello that's been killing it. So we'll just talk about a number of different things. But yeah, so I was away. Didn't check the markets much. That's the nice thing about being away. Like, you're not obsessed about the markets for a week, which is kind of a nice thing. Looks like things are still kind of sideways here. Nothing really notable catalyst-wise had occurred. But what's your take on what's been going on? We had the big crash, and now it's sort of rebounded a bit. Now we're sort of just ranging here. Where do you think it goes?
Yeah, I mean, we crashed all the way to $49,000. Now we're sitting here around 59,000, hovering around 60. I still think we're seeing some positive news about ETH and Bitcoin ETF inflows, which is good. We're starting to see positive inflows. And I also did see another report that for 6 months, the whale wallets have been dormant or accumulating more Bitcoin and Ethereum for the past 6 months. That is when the smart people are doing something that you should probably be looking at, and that is DCAing at these levels, looking for higher prices moving into the future. So I know it's not exciting right now, but now's the time where you should be looking to buy, looking to accumulate, and looking at some altcoins as well. Worst case scenario, I think probably a retest down there. I don't think we get down to 49,000, maybe a retest of previous support to like 52,000. But again, I think we would need another black swan event or a market crash for that to happen, because we're seeing positive inflows coming in for Bitcoin and Ethereum. We're seeing the selling pressure coming from miners and retail investors who are panicking or trying to get too cute, selling here, trying to buy back cheaper. That doesn't always work. So I think you follow the big money here. And as long as these positive inflows continue, they are going to continue to scoop up these finite assets off the open market, and prices will continue higher leading into the end of this year, in my opinion. And I still stand by the prediction of 100,000 Bitcoin and 10,000 Ethereum by the end of 2024. And historically, the bull market should go well into 2025. So I don't think we've even got it started yet. And now is not a time to panic or to be selling. I think it's a time to be accumulating. How about you?
I'm with you. I do have some concerns about Ethereum, but more near-term concerns rather than long-term, which I'll get into in a second. But yeah, look, it's summertime. Markets tend to be a little bit slow. There has not been a catalyst. Like, we had the last catalyst was like the Trump announcement at Bitcoin Nashville a month or so ago. There hasn't really been much since then. We had that panic sell based on slightly worse than expected labor market reading, but the markets have sort of realized that that was a bit of a nothing burger, and everything's rebounded. S&P 500 is up, Nasdaq's up, Bitcoin's back up. ETH, I have some concerns about, but I think the next catalyst that we're looking at is actually pretty soon here. The Commissioner of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell, speaks at this bigwig conference in Jackson Hole, where all the billionaires go every year. He's going to be speaking at that. And all signs are pointing to him basically indicating that they are going to cut rates at the next meeting. Whether that's a 0.25% or whether it's a 0.5% rate cut, I don't think anyone knows. And it looks like the markets are leaning more towards that 0.25. But regardless, that's going to be the start of a rate cutting regime back to lower interest rates, which is very good for risk assets. And so that he talks, I think he's talking on end of this week, on the 22nd, if I'm not mistaken. So that is coming up soon. He'll probably say some dovish things, and hopefully the market bounces. ETH concerns me a bit. ETH feels like it's been a bit of a victim of its own success. They had that Denkun upgrade a while back, and basically what that meant is that the fees became a bit lower, and it became easier to, the fees that are the L2s are paying became lower. And what ultimately it seems to have happened is, yes, fees are lower. Okay, that's great. But there's now actually inflation on ETH. There's more ETH being issued than is being burned. And that's also a function of the market being slow, and there's just not a lot of activity relative to how it had been earlier in the year. So I think that will change, and you'll eventually see when the market picks up. Okay, fees going higher, burns going up. It'll become deflationary again, but it's currently inflationary, which is a bit concerning. But I think in general, look, Bitcoin always leads the charge. This was the same thing that happened in the last bull run. Bitcoin starts to run, Bitcoin dominance goes up, and basically every other coin suffers up until the point where people say, all right, Bitcoin's running enough. I'm taking profits and I'm cycling them down to whatever's next. And that next thing is going to be ETH for sure. And all the altcoins, really. And that's when you have the alt season. So I'm not worried about ETH over the long term. But yeah, I mean, you're seeing some inflationary the results of it being a bit inflationary. I think playing out right now. So, glad you pulled up the chart.
Yeah, and so you can see here, we kind of sold up here. We kind of ran the sell off a little bit, and I was saying if we don't get it back above 2,800 level, which was major support, that is now resistance, you're probably going to see some kind of retest of these lows. So in the bullish scenario, even here, you see 5 waves up, you would have an A down, B up, you'd have a C down that could go as low as $2,320 and still remain bullish for this next move higher. This would be like a leading diagonal. You would retest this. That would panic people, think we're going to break out to new lows below that $2,200 level, and 2,300 would be the kind of the last major dip before the next rally in this market cycle. Now we'll see how that lines up with other catalysts. We'll see what the ETH, the ETF inflows continue to look like. But from a pure technical analysis point, major rally up the low, but got stuck at this overhead resistance. And now you can go as low as $2,300 and still be bullish on Ethereum. But I know that a $310 drop for most people on Ethereum that's 8% lower is going to draw some panic and some fear. Also, it is going to make your portfolio look a little bit smaller as well. So
we'll see how that plays out. We'll see if it retests the low there, or whether it just rebounds quicker. The inflows have been a positive story, I think. Yes, they have not been as much the Bitcoin inflows, but that was to be expected.
Right, smaller asset.
Smaller asset. So I think inflows are coming into play. I just think in general, it's like the markets are a little bit just quiet right now. End of summer, no major catalysts right now. We'll see what happens when Powell speaks on later this week, indicating a rate cut, and then when the rate cut actually occurs in September, I expect probably be a bit of a sell the news scenario, at least in the, immediately. But I think we're moving now to easy money again. The money supply is going to increase. They need to grease the economy because unemployment's looking a little concerning there for the Fed. And so they will be pumping money into the economy, and risk assets always benefit from that. So it's the same story every time.
Money supply looks like it's trending upwards, which is going to help the risk on assets. Also, we'll see what the polls and stuff keep looking for. Obviously, the Democratic Party and Kamala Harris, they had their one day of pro crypto. Now they're anti crypto again. So I think that put a little pressure on the markets. Kamala really taking steam. They got the DNC right now. We'll see what happens moving forward with that. But then remember, the biggest catalyst probably doesn't happen until Q4 this year, which is $16 billion of cash from the FTX debacle is going to be getting back in the hands of creditors. So that will be a lot of crypto native people. And I would expect that many people that understand the cycles in Bitcoin and crypto will be putting a large chunk of that 16 billion back into the market. Again, these aren't in Bitcoin. These aren't in tokens. These are in cash. Yes, some of that is for court fees and lawyers, but a lot of that will be to crypto native individuals who probably want to look to buy the dip on some of these assets.
Yeah, that's an underappreciated catalyst. I think at the end of the year, I don't know how many people have been talking about that or know about that. We've been on that for a while now here at Crypto Paradise. But what's kind of cool about this market is that even during sort of a lull, you can have some bright spots. You can have some winners. It's not easy. Most things are struggling. But we've had a few big winners recently. First, we can talk about Mello. And then we can talk about the Kai CTO that we're involved with. But Mello, man, it's kind of a hybrid meme. It is a meme. But it has products that generate revenue. So you could say meme plus revenue generator type of project where it was strong fundamentals. We called this project at, I believe, 300K into our private group. It is now around 10 million. So some people in our group who got in early, they're very happy. But I'm super bullish on this one. I've known the leader of that CTO, his name is Phil, for about 6 years. He's an absolute beast. He's been in the space for a long, long time, ran marketing companies in the crypto world, has a ton of connections, and just been doing everything right thus far. They're about to launch their trade bot publicly. in the near future here. I don't know exactly when that's happening, but they've been gearing up for that. It's been working and live on the Mello token. And what this product does is essentially creates it trades. It's an auto trading trade bot, right? That is optimized for Ethereum, so the gas fees are low. Creates volume for the token, which then allows that token to get on trending. And if you time it up with ads and so on these trending on these platforms, aggregators like Dex Tools or whatever, you can get a lot of new eyeballs, a lot of new buyers. Volume increases sort of organically. So it's a really nice product, and they're going to be essentially allowing other projects to use that, and they just take a bit of fees that are created from that product, and then they'll be using those fees to buy back Mello, do other marketing campaigns, add liquidity, burns, all these things that they're able to do when the revenue starts coming in. I think people are finally wisening up to the fact that this meme is built differently. And so, yeah, it's a run from, I guess it was chilling around 2 to 3 million a few weeks ago, and now it's nearly 10. It's over 1,000 holders now. Hasn't really started big marketing yet. They haven't really done the big KOL thing yet. I think that is coming. And I know they have a big announcement as well, big partnership announcement, looks like in the works. So it's still relatively early for those guys, around 1,000, 1,200 holders. But yeah, big success story here for Crypto Paradise, and I'm just super bullish on Mello Man.
Yeah, Mello Man was given, like you said, in the private groups at 300K. I think we talked about it here on Crypto Paradise at 1 million, and now it's sitting at like $9 million market cap. Mello Man is in the Matt Fury artwork family here. You can see Brett and some of these Pepe and some of these other characters. And Mello Man is still the lowest market cap out of all of these Matt Fury art pieces that have become meme coins. So if that narrative takes off, it's going to be the cheapest of the 5 that you see on the screen. And like Ian said, there is utility that will create buybacks and burns for the Mello token. So hopefully you guys hit that follow button, hit that subscribe button, took advantage of that alpha. That's 10 extra money while Bitcoin has done absolutely nothing. And if not, if you do some more research, like Ian said, it's still probably early, still more upside to come. Try to buy the dips, dollar cost average, and we'll see how the utility plays out leading into the next marketing campaign.
Yeah, super bullish on Mello. Not financial advice as ever, but glad we found out about that one early and let the folks know. All right, so another one that we've been bullish on for a while. It's been up, it's been down. It's been a crazy journey with this one. It's called Kai Ken on ETH. It's obviously a dog meme. It's the last Inu, right? And there's 6 Inus in the family that include Shib, Kendu, and others. This is the last Inu. So the narrative is incredibly strong. The community is great. It's gone through its struggles, though, no doubt about it. It ran to 18 million, I think, on the back of pretty aggressive marketing when it first came out. But the double-edged sword of that is, you have influencers in there. Maybe they got tokens. Okay, then they start to take profits, and people get impatient. It ran so fast, and then can dump back down. And that's exactly what happened. And so we've been involved really since like day 2 of that project. Just love the narrative. The person that introduced that to us, Lady Trader, she's made some great calls. So we got in early, and I just took a strong liking to that project, and I started doing daily voice chats because I was like, oh, the project needs a bit of a vocal leadership. The dev was more behind the scenes, doing these daily voice chats, so on and so forth. Got to know the community, got to love the community members. Fifi, who's awesome, she's always out there too, on VCs and spaces and so on. So a lot of great people there. Bottom line is, a few weeks ago, the dev was sort of like, look, man, I've taken it as far as I can. There aren't a lot of funds to push it further. People keep hitting me up, asking for when KOL, when this, or that. I just, I can't, do it. I don't have the money for it. Do you want to basically take it over? And I thought about it for about 24 hours. And I was like, you know what? I don't want to give up on it. I don't want to see it just die off. So yeah, why not? Let's see what we can do with this. And so it's, going to be purely organic, community-based effort here. I'm trying to be fully transparent with everyone about that so people know what they're getting into when it comes to Kai. But the narrative is awesome. It's the last Eno. We have some cool stuff planned for it, but it's not going to be one of these, onboarded 50 new influencers and push it to the moon super fast. It's not going to play out like that. I think it's going to be much more slow grind. We're looking for people that believe in the narrative, want to be a part of the community, like long-term, projects, long-term slow growth. That's kind of the aim, I think, and the expectation for something like a Kai now that we've taken over as a CTO. But yeah, that's pretty much where it's at. We're back to the daily voice chats, or daily spaces, I should say. Going to get the raids back going. We have some other stuff cooking in the background. So yeah, excited about that one. Hell of a journey, but here we are.
Yeah, Kaiken ran really quick. It has had a bunch of big KOLs behind it, and I think even with the dev moving on and the kind of the sell-off going on, there is lock liquidity there. There is a set community there, and there is some KOLs who are still on board. So not letting it die. Crypto Paradise, the Kai team, remaining team, the community is staying active, and that's really all you want in a meme coin. There isn't really a finite utility. It's just a narrative, an active community, and a liquid market, which over time we're down here at these lows consolidation. This is the reaccumulation phase where the diehards will hold their bags or add to their bags, and they'll see if more life can be brought into it as the dog narrative starts to run again in this next cycle. So we'll see where it goes. I'm excited. I hop on those daily spaces when I can, give my input, give my thoughts, and just show my face there and share the spaces as well, just so other people can be aware of the community that still remains with Kaiken. And yeah, exciting times ahead for there.
Yeah, what I like about Kaiken now is it is really a truly community-based effort, and it's the true believers are here now, for the most part. That's who's left. All the people looking for quick gains, whatever, they're pretty much out, I would imagine, for the most part, when it ran up and then all the way back down. And so who's still holding, who's buying at these lows, knowing it's a CTO, especially when we've been very transparent about how we think the CTO is going to progress. I would imagine that most of those people are the true believers, and that's what you want. Like my vision for it is, if we can onboard more true believers, strong-handed chads than we onboard these short-term jeets, well, then it really can grow and go up over time. You know what I mean? That's really just what it takes. It takes a lot of people with conviction, with patience, who are willing to push something, willing to hodl, right? Maybe sell into some pumps and then buy back when it's correcting again, stuff like that. If we can do that, I think it can go the distance, and we'll see, right? I was saying on these VCs and spaces, it's an experiment. People need to come in with reasonable expectations. It's not going to be a quick mooner, in my opinion. It's more of a slow grind, and we'll see where we can take it, man. But I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep staying in there, doing these daily VCs and spaces and so on. And I think there's a lot of community members that are down for that. Which is
that's how these CTOs really explode. Is you get all the weak hands and the people who want that quick pump out. You get the reaccumulation of strong hands, and then as the market moves up, you have people who are responsibly taking profits and then re-rolling those profits back into buying any dips, and that's how you build up that chart. They build up their bags with more tokens, and that's how the price continues to go up and to the right. We're seeing other CTOs on other chains doing that. Dubcat on Solana is doing that very actively, and it continues just to head up into the right at like a 45-degree angle. And we're going to see what we can do with Kaiken and some of these other ones. Mello is another one who was doing that in that reaccumulation phase, just continuing to put in higher lows. And I'm sure behind the scenes, their bot is programmed to run volume, make profits, redeploy those profits on dips. So the project is making money, the volume is being generating and enticing new buyers and holders. And that's how the meme market really works. And once you get behind the scenes and get involved with that, you start to understand that's how it works. That's where your chart is your best marketing tool. FOMO occurs, and that's how these meme coins go to billions.
Yeah, I wonder, Kai Mello partnership in the works.
That could work out, huh? Sounds like
We'll
Ian might know something.
Yeah, we'll see about that. So, yeah, I think great chat today. We are going to be back doing these daily, or pretty much daily, now that we're all back from vacations and so on. So we'll see you guys very soon. But yeah, any final thoughts here before we jump?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for this update is just keep an eye on Bitcoin, Ethereum, BNB, and Solana. Those 4 tokens, kind of what they do out of the sideways range here. Are they going to retest the lows? Do they break below the lows? Or do we break above the highs that were created back on August 9th? That's going to dictate the direction of the short-term market here. If we break above those highs, you're going to see the FOMO. You're going to see us attack all-time highs on all these assets. That probably correlates with some kind of news in the markets. That's the only way that's going to happen. Now, if we get another dip and we do not break that capitulation low, I think you should be buying that dip aggressively. That is going to be one of the final shakeouts before the next move higher. So keep an eye on those 4 assets. That's going to tell you all you need to know about all the rest of the market and the altcoins, in my opinion.
All right, folks. Well, you heard it here. Appreciate your time. We'll see you guys soon. See you all on the beach.